In 2007, the village of Skokie is a thriving, multicultural community, offering residents an excellent quality of life. In a recent survey, residents gave the village very high ratings as a place to live, work, and raise a family. Skokie's share of local property taxes has been frozen for 17 years, easing the burden on taxpayers through proactive economic development and conservative budgeting. In 2003, Skokie became the first town in the entire United States with nationally accredited fire, police, and public works departments, and an ISO Class 1 fire department.
Skokie has a long, rich history of open government. A total of 13 volunteer boards and commissions, on which some 250 residents and business representatives serve, advise the mayor and village board on programs and policy matters.
Skokie's excellent quality of life, premier service delivery, and community participation did not come about by accident. More than 50 years ago, in 1956, a group of citizens formed the Committee for Village Manager Government that resulted in a community-wide binding referendum on April 16, 1957, to establish the council-manager form of government in Skokie.
The council-manager form of government combines the strong political leadership of elected officials with the strong managerial experience of an appointed village manager. In 1956, only 40 Illinois cities and villages had adopted the manager form of government.
Leaders of the council-manager referendum effort cited Skokie's rapid growth as one of the reasons to hire a full-time professional village manager. By 1955, Skokie's population was 38,000, and in 1957 was estimated at 44,000. Other unrest in the community revolved around complaints that some meetings of the village board, plan commission, and zoning board of appeals were held without notice or were closed to the public. Referendum committee leaders also believed that a trained executive would effectively manage the village's $2.5 million annual budget, increased from less than $1 million just 3 years earlier in 1953. 60 referendum committee members circulated petitions throughout the community to add the question to the spring 1957 election ballot: shall the village of Skokie adopt the managerial form of municipal government? The group gathered 2,200 signatures, far exceeding the 800 signatures required by state law. On March 8, 1957, Cook County Judge Otto Kerner conducted a hearing to rule on the validity of the signatures and to hear objections. All signatures were valid and no objectors appeared, so Judge Kerner ordered the referendum question placed on the ballot. At the time of the referendum, then Mayor George D. Wilson opposed the effort. Some village staff campaigned vigorously against the proposed new form of government, too. Referendum opponents distributed sheets telling citizens to vote no to the referendum or risk skyrocketing taxes and other dangers from having a stranger run village business.
We had an election coming up, and I forget who was running, but also on it was a referendum for the village manager form of government. Well, Mayor Wilson and his entire board were opposed to it, and I was always told that if you work for the people, you better do what they're doing. And that's why I was kind of opposed to the manager form of government. I worked a precinct, and I won my precinct, but I was happy later on that it turned out the way it did, because I think the manager form of government really saved this town.
Members of the Committee for Village Manager Government got busy too, and the community became engaged in the campaign. Committee members distributed 12,000 pamphlets in a door-to-door education campaign about the benefits of the council-manager form of government.
Another organization that was involved in this that was very helpful was the League of Women Voters. Initially, the League of Women Voters took the position that they wanted to spend more time. They wanted to look at this further before they would come out with an endorsement. But by the end of 1956, they had decided that they would support this. And they were very important because they had pictures of themselves on old automobiles holding signs, "Vote Modern, Vote Manager." And I think they were very effective. So all of this publicity was very important.
A series of pro-referendum cartoons, created by Helen Fulkerson, wife of referendum committee member Marshall Fulkerson, appeared in the local weekly newspapers, creatively illustrating Skokie's need for the council manager form of government. Additional pro-referendum local news coverage came from Jean Doney, referendum committee member and local newspaper columnist. Her column, It's High Time, extolled the virtues of the council manager form of government. Doney compared the local government organization to a large corporation with shareholders, or citizens, a board of directors or village board, and a chief operating officer or village manager. Doney spoke to numerous community groups on behalf of the referendum committee and explains how the committee got its message out with only a $220 budget.
As I recall, we all put in $10, all 10 of us. So we had something to start out with. We decided that we had to have some advertising, and there was a committee set up to make up advertising, and that's about all we spent.
Citizens were also asked to elect a new mayor on the spring 1957 ballot. Mayor Wilson died while in office, and acting mayor Allen Weisberg ran for a new term. He and another mayoral candidate, Ambrose Ryder, did not fully support the manager form of government, but believed it best accomplished by ordinance rather than referendum. Those supporting the referendum said that a mere ordinance would leave the community to the whim of elected boards that could vote to repeal the council manager ordinance. Only mayoral candidate Gus Weinbrecht supported the referendum effort. On April 16, 1957, Skokie citizens cast their votes, with 8,681 residents in favor of establishing the council manager form of government and 6,438 opposed. Ambrose M. Ryder was elected mayor along with village party candidates who all opposed the referendum. The first village manager, Arthur Lowther, was appointed on March 1, 1958, for a salary of $12,000. He left abruptly the following November, stating only that his adjustment to Skokie had not materialized as he had hoped. In April 1959, a new slate of village officials was elected that gave full support to the village manager form of government. Al Rigoni is the 9th village manager for Skokie, and 2007 marks his 20th year as the village's chief executive officer. History shows Skokie's long, somewhat rocky start to being the prosperous, professionally managed community it is today, where elected officials set policy that is carried out by the village manager and the 500 village employees. In late 2006, Mayor Van Dusen appointed a committee of village staff, former village officials, and residents to plan a celebration of the 50th anniversary of the council manager form of government in Skokie. The anniversary committee recommended that the village establish a scholarship at Oakton Community College for students pursuing a career in local government administration.
The village board approved the Skokie Excellence in Professional Government Management Scholarship. Beginning in 2007, the scholarship will be awarded annually to a Skokie resident who aspires to a career in local government.
Anniversary committee member and Skokie Plan Commissioner Ann Clark sums up why the 50th anniversary of the council manager form of government is significant for today's Skokie residents.
I think Skokie residents should celebrate this form of government because I think it allows the community and the citizens to voice their opinion, and they have opportunities to be a part of the decision-making process.
Establishing the council manager form of government in Skokie gave the community a strong base from which to grow and prosper over the past 50 years. Longtime Skokie property owner and former Skokie resident Neil King tells what he thinks the council manager form of government has done for Skokie.
There's no question in my mind that for the tax dollar, the resident in Skokie gets far more than he does in any other community. And I've lived in Winnetka, which is another fine community. But I think the combination of the three departments that are have been uniquely awarded the highest award in the country, the library and the park district, that there's just nothing like this community. And it's hard for me to believe that
a group of well-meaning citizens on their own would have been able to do this. And I think that certainly the council manager form of government has to be given a lot of credit.
Skokie residents continue to enjoy excellent municipal services and a community rich in the arts, academics, and recreational opportunities, all of which has come about through the foresight of a small group of Skokie residents who, in 1957, had a vision of Skokie as a thriving, professionally managed community and worked hard to establish the council manager form of government in Skokie.
What we envisioned 50 years ago to make sure that the village was well run, and well run all the way down by having people employed who were employed because of their professionalism rather than for other reasons. And our dream has come true. It's been fulfilled.